I now call to order the July 18th, 2022 meeting of the New Caney Independent School District Board of Trustees at 6:01 p.m. Let the minutes show that a quorum is present with all members in attendance and Ms. Harrell is absent. Please rise for the invocation to be given by Mr. Turner and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and honor the Texas flag led by Mr. Mixon.
Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this day you give us. We thank you for the opportunity to come here and represent you well in all that we do. We ask that you glorify you and that we would make decisions that affect this week. Also, please bless the meeting.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the United States, one state, under God, one nation.
Okay, item 2 on the agenda is open forum. We have 2 guests with us. The board will now hear comments from those persons who have signed up to speak. I need to read the open forum statement real quick. The board encourages comments from citizens of the district or employees. Anyone wishing to speak, either as an individual or as a representative of a group, may do so at this time. The board asks that comments pertaining to public education issues be no longer than 5 minutes. Remember, the board may not discuss any issues that are not posted on our agenda. If the issue mentioned is listed in tonight's agenda, the board will defer discussion until the appropriate time during this meeting. In addition, the board has adopted complaint policies that are designed to secure at the lowest administrative level a prompt and equitable resolution of complaints and concerns. The policies are available on the district website at www.newcaneyisd.org. First up is Miss Laura Hanson with EMC Swim Team.
Hi guys.
Hi, how are you?
Is this on or just I talk? Okay. My name is Laura Hanson, and for those of you that don't know me, I've been in the community for a long time. My whole family's gone through New Caney, me, my brothers. Now my great nephews are going through the district, so I'm a proud member of the district. I'm just coming here to give you an update about our swim team for those of you that don't know about it, and for those of you that do, just to get a little update on it and give some praises and thanks for you guys working with us, because we would not have a swim team if it wasn't for the district allowing us to be here. So prior to 2018, if you wanted to be on a swim team, a summer league swim team, you had to go to Kingwood. There was nothing in this area. Nothing has ever been formed in this area. So myself and some other parents that were tired of going to another community came together and started one here in using the facility under Mr. Sipe worked with us prior to that, starting it out. And our first year, we thought we would just have maybe 75 swimmers, like just enough to pay the bills, and we had 144. And we got second place at like this divisional meet where you all come together, which was like a big shocker. Like people actually gasped when we got second because they didn't expect this new team and New Caney and Porter and who are you guys to get second. Our second year we went up to 206 swimmers because the word got out a lot bit more, and we got first place at divisionals and got kicked out of that section and had to get moved to a higher degree of section. 2020, obviously we did not have a swim season because of COVID. 2021, we had 260 swimmers. And that was because, I know your eyes were like, whoa, trust me, I don't like that number. It's very high. It's very hard to deal with those little bodies. But that was because there were other teams that actually closed their doors to people, and people begged, can we please have something for our kids? It's been 2 years. And so we opened our doors, and like worked with what we had. And then to this year, we were down to 214, which is a more manageable number. We were in that bigger division, and it was our first time to actually be at a divisionals where you compete against everybody, and we got third place by 6 points. which was very disappointing, but also made other people raise their eyebrows like, wow, you know, because here we are we're still technically a new team. We're swimming against teams that have been around for 50 plus years. And yet we're that. So we're really growing and prospering. I also ref at the high school meets, and now I'm starting to see kids that learned how to swim in summer league make it to high school, so that's really cool, you know. And then also we work well with NEHA, who's the year-round swim team, that program that's there. So like a lot of kids fall in love with swim and actually like, wow, I didn't know this was a sport that I can participate in. And then they go year-round and stuff like that. So it's a great program that we have. We also have an Elvers program for 4 to 6-year-olds to help teach them to get to the water line, you know, get to the edge, save themselves, etc., and hopefully for them to get safe enough to where they can join the team. It's a 2-month-long program. We get grants from MCED and everything to help us with the expenses because we do not charge what it costs for a swimmer. We try to keep it affordable for families because swimming's a life-saving sport. We would not be here, though, if it wasn't for being able to use this facility. There's no neighborhood that has the facility for a summer league team that is allowing a summer league team around here. So I just am here to say thank you with some of my other board members back there, these ladies, lovely ladies right here, for letting us use the facility. It's impressive to a lot of people in the community that don't even come. Like here, we hosted divisionals here with that bigger group, and we had over 500 swimmers alone, plus their families. We had food trucks, and it was like Tent City. If you ever drove by during June 18th? Yeah, and you were like, what is going on? That was probably the biggest swim meet this district has ever seen, but we hosted that here. And everybody left here super impressed with the district and the facility. So I just wanted to come say thank you. I also want to thank Mr. Hawley and Miranda Beal for working with us because it is chaotic for 2 months. I know you guys have had a board meeting and looked over and was like, what is going on over there? We do try to keep them on this side, but for some reason, those lovely windows just call them to come over and smack themselves against it. So we try our best to keep them on the side. But anyways, I just want to say thank you very much for letting us to be part of this community and build this one program here.
Well, thank you for all you do for such a great program. And I love looking out and seeing our community getting to use the facilities that they pay for.
Yeah, it's very nice. And like I said, we couldn't, they're really, I think there's only 2 neighborhoods that have a pool that's actually square that you can host a swim team at. And we've asked one and it got turned down. And then another, they're not ready yet. So thank you, because we wouldn't be able to have a program like this. And if you like, your friend is on it now, you know, she started, and these little kids, like, it just warms my heart to see them not know swimming as a sport, and then they get out of the water and they're like, I did it, you know, and I dropped my time, and they're so excited. It just, I don't know. It's something I think we needed out here, and but we wouldn't have it if it wasn't for y'all letting us use it. So thank you. And that was it. Thank you.
Up next is Dr. Martinez.
Okay, and I don't even think I'm going to use it. School is starting next month, and I just wanted to come before the board to say we really appreciate the work that you guys have done the previous year, especially after how school started, as far as just the kids trying to come back into school. From a high school perspective, freshmen trying to adapt in a space they had not been in. And then I know that our high schools did have some roadblocks and problems with everyone trying to adapt to being in the school environment again. That was not only here in New Caney, but that was pretty much almost like nationwide. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for helping all of our schools to get through that. And most importantly, as we do get ready to start into the next year, I do also want to thank the board, and Mr. Kondarker is not here, but just seeing the new teachers that are going to be coming into Porter High School, it was very refreshing to see young teachers coming in. No disrespect to old teachers, I'm an old person. But But it was just, it's refreshing to see these new teachers coming in. I think they may have a little bit more energy. I also think that they're going to be at a point to where they can probably be a little bit closer in age to the students, close enough to guide them, but not so close to be serving as their best friends. And I just think that's very important. And the last thing that I would like to say that I also think is going to be important for the new year, as we go into the new year, and I know most schools do a moment of silence, and I honestly think moment of silence is the best way to handle because we all are not of the same religion. But as we go into the new school year, I think that that's going to be important for the students on a middle school and a high school level to where they can actually feel and understand that they are going to be heard and that they have someone that they can go and speak to if they need to, because it is still difficult for our students today. And we do have a higher number of students who are depressed, a higher number of students with anxiety. And I think that we as adults need to be out in front of it by letting them know that we're here before an event occurs. And there will be some students I know going into Porter High School who are going to be having some memories of the previous year of their classmate. And so I just ask when the new school year starts that we as administrators, you guys being on the Board of Trustees, and the teachers and the directors at the school, continue just to take that moment of silence with the students to let them know that they have people within the building there to support them. And I think that that will be very important because sometimes the only things that high school students want to hear, and maybe middle school students too, because I understand they're growing just as fast, is that they don't always want you to sit down next to them and start talking to them about different things, but they want to know that if I need to speak to someone, the person is there, because sometimes they need to be the one to initiate that conversation. So thank you for all you guys have done, and we look forward to next year being good.
Thank you. Okay, item 3 on the agenda is closed meeting. The board will now meet in closed meeting under the authority of Texas Government Code 551.074 for the purpose of personnel matters, Government Code 551.071 for attorney consultation, and Government Code 551.072 for deliberation regarding the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Any action as a result of the closed session discussion will take place after the board reconvenes in open meeting. Time is 6:14.
Yes, sir. Got some updates for y'all tonight in 3 separate areas. The first is an update from Ms. Schaffner about some academic gains and other things from this past school year.
Good evening. Over the past few weeks, we've received preliminary information regarding accountability ratings on state assessments from this past year. While the results are preliminary, we're pleased with the growth shown in our students since the pandemic. As a reminder, the ratings assigned to campuses in our district are based on academic performance from state assessments, graduation, college, career, and military readiness rates, comparative growth and cohort growth of campuses, and on closing the gaps in certain subpopulations. Our goal this year was to grow students 10 points. All of our elementary and middle schools not only achieved this goal in students scoring masters, but grew by 20% or more. New Caney Elementary and Tavola Elementary showed cohort growth in masters of 30%. In the same category, Kiefer Crossing showed growth of 40%, and Sorters Mill Elementary showed growth of 50%. I'm so proud of them. This academic success could not have happened without the diligent work of our students and their families, the targeted intervention of our instructional coaching team, the tenacity and very hard work of our teachers, the constant support of district specialists, and the focus on vision from our campus leadership teams. Our official scores, ratings, and distinctions are released on August 12th to districts and August 15th to the public. We're really proud of their performance, but acknowledge that there is always room for improvement and growth. But our campus, district leaders, and teachers are focused on preparing our students for their future, whatever path they choose. So hopefully, closer to August 15th, we'll have an update where the scores we know for sure are accurate. I just hate to share preliminary when we're not exactly positive. There is a file that we received from Cambion that is not based on snapshot, so we just have to be a little bit careful with those scores. Okay, any questions for me? No? Okay.
Good job.
All right, appreciate that. Got a child nutrition update from Miss Needham.
Hello. Okay. We have had some, I would say, disturbing news. It's going to be a shock to many of our parents that we are no longer going to be offering free lunches. We will continue with universal feeding for breakfast, but lunch will no longer, and students will have to pay. There is going to have to be a price increase just because of the formula they use for calculation, as well as you know, groceries have gone up just a little bit. So we haven't had a price increase since 2017, so we've been able to maintain. So my recommendation is that in elementary school, we go to $3, secondary will be $3.25, staff $4.75, and visitors $5. Again, you know, we'll continue to monitor the students. There will be a no charge policy, although we will allow students to charge. Those will be monitored on a daily basis as well, but we are not going to take a tray from a child. That's not our goal here. So we want to make sure. I did include with the handout where we are economically disadvantaged for today's numbers. We are processing applications currently right now, so we're encouraging staff. We will be advertising. It is on the website that parents must complete that application. So we will continue to advertise that through our communications, Facebook, and other media outsources. Any questions? Yes, ma'am. We had 5 campuses that qualified. They were over the 80%, so we will absorb the cost of the other campuses and they will be reimbursed based on their economically disadvantaged status. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, I've asked Dr. Powers to give an update on a program that we started looking into last year. It's called Let's Talk, and simple is always best, and that's what it is. It gives our community an opportunity to engage with the district. Oftentimes, getting their question or comment to the right person is challenging, and this program assists us in those efforts. So, Dr. Powers, you want to show us?
I think you just did it, Mr. Calvert. If you've been to our website, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. In the last 4 or 5 weeks, you may have noticed a little bright yellow tab over there on the right. That is the entryway to what we call Let's Talk. It's sort of a complement to the website. The idea is to shorten the distance between members of the public, parents and other members of the public, and the person in the school district who has the answer to a question or can most readily help somebody who needs some help through the website. It's topic-based. You can go to the landing page there, Grant, if you like. We build topics around things we anticipate people may be asking questions or needing help with. And then a person can click on that button, submit that question, and then we route it to the person who has that information. We allow ourselves a couple of days. We guarantee a response within a couple of business days, but of course the idea is to respond, if not the same day, or if not within hours, the same day certainly. It also helps with accountability for us, so in terms of how we're doing responding to the public. So we've launched it 4 or 5 weeks ago. We've had about 50 inquiries to this point. You can see we've built some topics around communications, teaching and learning. There's a trending topics section. These can change. These are customized. Click on one of those buttons, Grant, if you don't mind. If you have a question about, what was that one? I can't read it. Careers. We put some customized information on each one of those buttons that hopefully answers some questions or directs people to resources, but if not, they can complete the form, tell us who they are, and then that will route to a person who can help them, and they'll get back with them. We launched this on a fairly limited basis, so just a few departments so far, but we kind of anticipate it growing and expanding by department and then maybe eventually to the campus level as well. So we'll see how it goes. Any questions or anything on that? Okay, thanks.
All right, thank you, sir.
Item 5 on the agenda is reports and proposals by board members. Is there any report? Item 6 on the agenda is the consent calendar consisting of consideration of minutes, consideration of finance reports, consideration of purchasing reports, consideration of personnel reports, consideration of MOU for JJAEP, and consideration of policy updates. Questions? Is there a motion? Motion has been moved and second. There being no further discussion, a vote will be taken. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, motion is approved.
All right, one of those personnel items on there was our new director of purchasing, and she's with us tonight as Ms. Tony Bullock. She's a familiar face in the district. She's been at the campus level, came to the dark side, been working in admin now for 3 or 4 years. So we're looking to her leadership in that role and getting everybody the stuff they need in the district. So we appreciate her and everything she's done for us and what she will do for us. So thanks for being here, Tony.
Item 7 on the agenda is consideration of adoption of order calling school trustee election and taking all necessary action thereof, presented by Mr. Powell, Dr. Powell.
Well, I think everybody knows the drill here. It's that time of year. This first item is just about ordering the election for positions 6 and 7 this November.
Do what? I didn't even hear you.
You guys need to act on,
One question, what does that cost now?
what does the election cost? I don't know off the top of my head.
Our most recent bill for the last trustee election was $54,000, right, Angie? So for election of 2 seats.
Okay. All right, are there any questions? No questions? Is there a motion to approve the adoption of order calling school trustee election and taking all necessary action thereof? Motion is moved and second. There being no further discussion, vote will be taken. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? The motion is approved. Item 8 on the agenda is consideration of election agreements presented by Dr. Bowers.
This one just authorizes the administration to execute the agreements with both Harris County and Montgomery County for the joint elections for November.
Any questions? Is there a motion? Motion has been moved and second. There being no further discussion, the vote will be taken. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion is approved. Item 9 on the agenda is consideration of approval of 2022-2023 Student Handbook and Code of Conduct presented by Mr. Simon.
Good evening, guys.
Can we get that?
Mr. Turner. There we go. All right, so Mr. Casberry, to my knowledge, has never missed a school board meeting, and so he is here with us in spirit. All right, there you go. That's enough of that. Okay. So vaping's become a pretty serious issue on school campuses, especially at the high school level, as we discussed in closed session. We're proposing the same but a different way of, consequences in the afternoon. I mean, for the infraction. Students are vaping in classrooms, vaping in the hallways. It's becoming a pretty big issue over the last couple of years. So one of the things that we're proposing is it will remain a level 4 offense, but high school students and high school students only will place all offenders for vapors will go to TLC for 30 days. It falls under the discretionary, but there will be a review after 15 days. So we would like you guys to consider that. So Mr. Calvert has done PSAs along with a couple of our new Caney ISD police officers. The health department has come down to our campuses. There's been videos shown at the high school levels. The DA, I believe, has come, and so there's just been a lot of proactive steps from the district's point of view. This will not start right away. If you guys approve tomorrow, starting tomorrow, and when the high schoolers start coming for their on-campus activities before school starts, until the third Monday of school, so for the first 2 weeks of school, the high schools will be pushing it out to parents and students, letting them know that this will be happening if you guys approve, so it won't come as a shock to parents and students for the first few infractions. So we're just trying to take control of an issue that's gotten not necessarily out of hand, but it's become a very serious issue on our campuses, and so that's the biggest proposal that we've added to the code of conduct. Any questions?
Yeah, you said for the high school level. So have we had middle school or elementary school kids show up with vape pens?
We've had middle school and elementary school kids show up with vape pens or vape paraphernalia. Yes, sir.
So what will be the punishment for that?
For them, it's just going to be the same. Code of conduct, not necessarily graduated sanctions, but warning, calling parents, trying to educate them. The highest infraction is really at the high school level. It is unproportionately more significant at the high school level than it is at the middle school and elementary schools.
So when obviously the meeting is being recorded, so at this point, they're basically being given 6 to 7 weeks to make sure they fully understand this. So we're going to make sure that they understand that personal responsibility. You were warned. We've done multiple things to try to get this under control.
Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, if you're going to do it, then you're going to
Yes, sir.
You're going to have a disciplinary action.
Yes, sir.
Can you also share, you talked a little bit about the quantity of infractions that we've seen this year is greater than the last 5 years?
Over the last couple years, vaping and plus with THC it's more in the past couple years than it had been in the previous 5 years or so. This year we've had, as far as placements to JJ, it's a mandatory placement to JJ if it's THC. But by far our placements at JJ are due to this.
I just thought that kind of helped bring it.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more questions? Is there a motion? Motion has been moved in second. There being no further discussion, a vote will be taken. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. Item 10 on the agenda is consideration of approval to award agreement with IBI Architects for architectural services to design, construct Highlands Elementary School facility and procurement method presented by Mr. Calvert.
Yes, sir. Again, this is one of those projects that's on the horizon, working with the Highlands community and getting them an elementary school in their site. We've already purchased the site for them, so this is the design firm we like to use, the architect we like to use. We do use a site adapt design, so it is the same exact design for all intents and purposes as Brookwood, Tavola, Oakley, Dogwood, this last round of elementary. So there's definitely some efficiencies in us using that design. So IBI is our group, and we'd like to recommend them to design Highlands Elementary School.
Question? Is there a motion? Motion is moved and seconded. There being no further discussion, a vote will be taken. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is approved. There being no further business, the meeting is adjourned. The time is 7:19.